So I want to talk about in this video which Hanbalis historically did consider Asharis to be Sunni. So let's just start from here. Abdul Baqi al Mawahibi said, and I have it here too, and that is that the groups of Ahl Sunnah are three: Asharis, Hanbalis, and Maturidis. I'll be honest with you, I tried to look this guy up. I really can't find anything, but I found this guy, and I'll show you after. Uh, As-Safarani said, Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah are three groups: Atharis and their Imam is Ahmed, Asharis and their Imam is, and you get the point, right? And so I did find who As-Safarani is. I found him here, right? He's pretty well known at his time. I know he looks like a very late scholar, right? So, you'd probably prefer a more early scholar. But, the point is that Hanbalis do accept his opinion. So let's continue. Al-Hasan al-Shatti said, some scholars said that the saved group is the Ahl al-Hadith, meaning the Atharis, Asharis, and Maturidis. If you said, I don't need the rest, right? Okay. The three groups are one sect, since they're all people of Hadith, right? So that the point is that, you know, you have to understand something, right? That I'm pretty sure Ahl al-Hadith, what distinguished them from the other people, Hadiths were used in fiqh, right? But the question is, what makes someone Ahlul Hadith? I think it was the acceptance of the Aqidah related Hadiths, right? Some people would just reject them. These guys would say, no, no, we accept them. There it is, right? For in fact, Ashraris and Maturidis did not reject narrations or drop them. They either left their meaning to Allah or reinterpret them. And all of them are people of Hadith, right? So the Aqidah related Hadiths. If you rejected them, then you weren't considered part of that. And thus they are all one sect due to their sticking with narrations and attributing themselves to reports, unlike other sects, for they made their minds judges, right? That was, the Asharis don't do that. Well, maybe they do a little of ta'wil, but they don't, abandon all scripture and say, oh, no, no, we're smarter than the scripture. That's really blasphemous, right? For they made their minds judges and went against text, and they are people of innovation and misguidance, right? Pretty good point. And there's the Arabic version. Okay, and this is the quote I had from Qadi Abu Yala in the last video I made, and I got somebody to officially translate it, and here it is. And the scientists of the Hadith, including the Ashari, have agreed upon the validity of this Hadith, right? I guess there was a specific Hadith he was talking about. This is from Qadi Abu Yala, right? He was the head scholar of his time, very early. This is like the earliest Hanbali we have of saying something good about Asharis, maybe. Some of whom have endorsed it as is, and they are the people of the Hadith, and some of whom interpret it, and they are the Ash'ari, and their interpretation of it is acceptance from them for it. And if they had a void, they would have put it down, like they have put down other void information. And it is told that the Prophet Muhammad said, my Ummah will not agree upon misguidance. And this is from Ibn Taymiyyah, and I honestly don't know what book this is, but Hanbali sent me this, and here's what it's. Wait. Okay, wait. I could read it, but basically he said about the Asharis that you can read it yourself if you want, but basically they're Sunni when they're in the land of the Mu'tazila. Don't know exactly what he meant by that. I think it also says if they're in the land of the Shia, then they're Sunni. I don't understand that. Is he saying they're only relativity Sunni, right? Like relative to the environment they're in, they become Sunni. I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I don't fully understand this. If you could read it yourself and give me a better idea, then that would be nice. Okay, and that's some dude. I looked him up, couldn't find anything, I think. Right? Yeah. Imam Abdullah ibn Sufyan al Qudumi said, Ahl al Hadith, the Ash'ari, and the Maturidiyah are one group. Right? Imam was an Ash'ari in Creed. This is confirmed by his student. Right? So I guess this was a Hanbali who was Ash'ari in Creed. And this is Abu Fadl Tamimi. He was very early, I'm pretty sure. Very, very early scholar. And he said, adhere to this man, Abu Bakr al-Bakalani, because the Sunnah cannot be without him, right? So it seems to me that these Tamimis, who were very close to the Ahmed ibn Hanbal as well, are saying, this is a Ashari, and he's saying stay close to him, right? Why would he do that? Imam Abdul Rahman ibn Battuta taught in Al Karun, which is a Maliki Ashari institute, used to exchange, right? So this guy was a Hanbali teaching at an Ashari school very early, too. Uh, and this guy participated in the jihad alongside Asharis. And Kodama, even though he was very conflicting with Asharis, he did pledge his allegiance to Ashari Khalifa, right? Imam Shamsuddin Ibn Qudama taught at a specific school, Ashari Institute, and one of his students was Al Nawawi, right? I actually don't know how to prove any of these. I just found them on a random website, right? Eh, I mean, some of it adds up. Imam Ibn Rajab al Hanbali, and actually, I've read a quote from Ibn Rajab where he considers them to be Sunni, but I couldn't find the quote right now. From his teachers were the likes of Taqiyuddin al-Subki al-Ashari and Zainuddin al-Araki al-Ashari. And this guy taught he's a Hanbali, he taught at Al-Azhar. And there's a few other things, yeah. I don't need to show you everything. You get the point.